Cardano price is going crazy, and with that, the question comes, does this warrant a supply shock? I think it does. And with that in mind, I want to show you guys some pretty bullish scenarios that are playing out right now as we speak. First things first, before we get too far into the video and I show you all the amazing data that's going to blow your minds, I want to mention that you can stake your ADA and earn passive ADA on said ADA with the Jack stake pool. If you don't know how to stake your ADA, there's a video link down in the description walking you through step by step how to do so. Now, let's go ahead and look at first the congestion on the Cardano blockchain, because we're about 4 days out from the largest decentralized application launch, SundaesSwap, a DEX, a decentralized exchange, coming to Cardano. We're 4 days out from that, and they have over 220,000 followers on Twitter. Their testnet blew metrics out of the water, and that is a testnet, and it was really clean platform, by the way. So this is going to be crazy. Congestion could last up to days. So with that being said, we're already at 94% load at the moment and 88% load over the past 24 hours. Now, where is all this coming from? I'm going to show you in a second. But overall, this has led to a mini supply shock right now, I believe, with 71% of Cardano being staked still. And the price is rising of Cardano. You can see here, everything else is red. Cardano is up about 10% on the 24-hour mark, which is quite insane and just a little bit weird. I remember back a few months back, when we hit that $3 mark, Cardano pumped to $3 and everything else was also at the same time just sitting still, and it's happening again. We're seeing Cardano go do some things that no other cryptos really represent to be in line with. That being said, there is some things to keep in mind. We're not always going to go up, and I do think, although this is bullish for Cardano, you have to keep in mind the overall market sentiment with Bitcoin leading the way. Now, that also being said, if we go to the month chart, you can see we have reclaimed this past high and things are looking good. And if we go to the 3-month chart, you can see we're down quite a bit and we have a long ways to go upwards. But I do think a supply shock could blow this chart out of the water. Do I know that for sure? Absolutely not. I'm a guy in my mom's basement. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do think it makes me, have a much more positive sentiment seeing Cardano do so well right now in the short term, because of all the people that are going to come into the space and get to try out the DeFi ecosystem that is, going to be blossoming over the next 3 to 6 months, and all different types of dApps, NFTs during that time as well. Now for something very interesting. There's a lot of volume on Cardano, but usually it's not this high. Cardano was number 2 in volume for many hours, and right now we can see just behind Ethereum, we have Cardano with 5.3 billion transaction volume. Along with that, about the same volume as Ethereum, we have substantially less in fees. If we go to the right here, you're going to see 75,000 in fees versus 43 million. So if that doesn't blow your pants off, then I don't know what will, but the difference is insurmountable. It is a massive difference. Of course, I still love Ethereum and I still think we're in a multi-chain ecosystem, but it is something to note that Cardano is doing things that are very impressive. One more kind of Ethereum versus Cardano based data point that I want to show you guys today is a Twitter poll. And yes, it's just a Twitter poll. So don't go over to your local Walmart and tell everyone about it on how Cardano beat Ethereum. It's just a Twitter poll. But Cardano has got a lot of votes on this poll based on what people would want their savings in the world to be if it could only be one currency that is not Ethereum. A lot of people voted Bitcoin, but even more people voted Cardano. So to me, that is quite bullish. That's quite awesome. And it just goes to show you how large the Cardano community can be when they come together and they want to vote on Ethereum poll. Now, that also being said, some more tangible real data is total value locked. And a lot of Ethereum people, a lot of other blockchains have came and said, okay, so we have Cardano. What does it do? There's no total value locked. Nothing's going on. And of course, there's no total value locked. There hasn't really been smart contracts for more than a few months. And not only has there not been smart contracts for more than a few months, there's not really any dApps or DeFi protocols launched yet on the mainnet. That being said, there are two aggregating quite a bit of volume in terms of total value locked, and those are Museli up 90% in the last 7 days. We're going to cover some of the volume on that platform in a sec here. It is pretty absurd. And we have Vi Finance. Now on here, Vi Finance is not tracked right now. It was tracked earlier, just a bit bugged. But if we go over to the application on the Vi Finance, you can see there's 15 million in volume that is locked TVL. So 17 million TVL for Cardano with two, and albeit two smaller protocols launched successfully on the mainnet. To me, this is just the beginning of a massive wave of total value locked, of dApps, and I've been preaching that for many, many months. I've been preaching about a supply shock for many, many months, and although I may not have been right about the timing, I do think we are in for it. I think we're due for some kind of supply shock, especially now with the native token, ADA, being so dried up, and so many people are going to be using it on things like, DeFi protocols, staking it, trading it in for other assets native on Cardano, whether it be a Sunday token or whether it be, Pavia token or whatever else. But there's a lot of volume on Cardano, period. And I can show you that right now. If we go to sundaeswap, we go over and we check on liquid, okay? It's 54 ADA per liquid, first of all. And there's a circulating supply right now of 365,000. There's going to be a total of 21 million. And we go to volume, okay? It's pretty insane. If we go here, there was a day, January 5th, we had nearly 1 million ADA in volume, and it kind of died down since then, but recently it's been picking up some steam. And yesterday alone, this token, LQ, native asset on Cardano, it's a governance token, has over 291,000 ADA volume on it. Now keep in mind, this is not a mainnet platform yet, and this is just the governance token that was distributed early to some eligible members of their Discord and some other things. That also being said, when we go to the markets and we look at the other tokens, there's a lot of volume on them as well. And this is quite absurd, honestly. Hundreds of thousands of volume on these tokens, and it's not really slowing down. Milk alone, the native asset for sundaeswap, is going crazy too. 272,000, 192,000. So to me, this is the beginning of a supply shock. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you agree. But I believe this is the beginning of a supply shock, and Cardano is just getting warmed up. Now, will the price reflect that the whole way through? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. And I don't really care too much either. To be honest, I've been here since $1.55. My entry price is 8 months ago where we are right now. So to say that we went to $3 and I held through that, and we held back down to $1. I mean, to be honest, we're just chilling now, and I'm really excited to see where the whole ecosystem of Cardano goes. But I'm not going to tell you Cardano's going to $10 because I don't know that, but it very well could. It's not completely impossible. Also, don't get your hopes up too much. The best way to me is not just to hold Cardano, but to participate in the ecosystem. And that's how I'm preparing. To prepare for all of this, the best way is to be in the ecosystem, see those projects giving out airdrops, join Discords, and do all types of things like that. If you haven't been buying Cardano for the past 8 months, now is probably not a bad time to get some so you can actually participate in a lot of these protocols. Mainly, you're going to need ADA to participate in the protocols and do things, but it's not always the case. However, that would be my number one advice for someone looking to prepare for the Cardano ecosystem, is to actually have some Cardano. Along with sundaeswap and native assets being bought up, we also have millions of ADA being spent on NFTs. And this is crazy, right? 6,000 plus transactions on NFTs in the past 24 hours, 7 days, 12 million. So not only is the DeFi ecosystem growing and the assets that are natively on Cardano that are just tokens, but also NFTs are growing rapidly. So everything across the board right now seems to be growing on Cardano. And the number one thing you can do to prepare is just to have some Cardano laying around to use and participate, but also to actively look into these things and do your own research. I do make videos every day in this channel, but I can't cover everything. There's so much going on in the ecosystem, and I do believe the number one way to stay up to date on that is to allocate a lot of time to it. And although that may not be fun, it can be very profitable and very lucrative for the people who are looking to be a part of all of the different types of things that are going to be coming to the Cardano ecosystem over the next few months. One last thing before we go that I want to mention, and it's quite important, is that yes, during this SundaeSwap launch on the 20th of January, on this Thursday, it's going to get congested. The volume will peak, and honestly, the volume could leave people, and the congestion could leave people stuck with their ADA, which might even more of a supply shock. We don't really know for sure. We do know, though, that it's going to be hard to get a transaction through with the huge amount of volume on SundaeSwap. So be wary of that. I'm not concerned at all, really. I think the Cardano blockchain can handle it. No one's going to lose any money because of failed transactions. And in the end, it's just going to be a bit of backload that we're going to have to get through over the next week following the initial release of SundaeSwap. Anyways, if you do want to check out a scaling video to see how congestion is being solved, I have that link down in the description, and it'll also probably be on screen right now. But that's all I got for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a great freaking day. It's been your friend Jack. Peace out.